right? 6 months ago, then it was suddenly a craziness.
Right.
Now it's back down. Why?
Why? The prices are coming down.
Not drastically, but there's no
down,
craziness.
Not going up anymore.
You guys can definitely find what you're looking for, okay? And now you guys can actually afford more because interest rates are down.
What is going to actually happen after a while? It is a big situation with the housing generally. So এটি আমরা কয়েকটি ক্যাটাগরিতে ভাগ করেছি। একটি হচ্ছে হাউজিং প্রাইস, একটি হচ্ছে ইন্টারেস্ট রেট এবং আরেকটি হচ্ছে আপনি এটির সুবিধা কিভাবে নিতে পারেন এটিরও একটি ব্রেকডাউন থাকবে। এবং আমি একটি কথা বলেছিলাম, Michael Motazedi will correct me for that. So let's start with the home pricing. You said before the show that the prices are coming down.
They are coming down. So you're going to see certain markets where you're bidding on a house and you just can't get it. It's out of control, right? Why is it? Because the brokers are actually putting it below market to cause this problem. Then you have other ones that are doing the right thing and they are basically putting in the market for whatever it is, say 700. You're not paying 700, right? You can get a 680, you can put 670. There's room.
Okay, so if you were to explain this in a way, let's say 6 months ago, we were seeing the listing was going up and up.
6 months ago, it was weird, right? 6 months ago, then it was suddenly a craziness.
Right.
Now it's back down. Why?
Why?
Okay, first of all, it's the economy, right? That's number one. But the real thing is the interest rates are down. So what does that mean? More sellers are willing to sell their house because they will buy another house at a reasonable interest rate.
Okay, so what you're saying in a nutshell, the prices are coming down.
Not drastically, but there's no
down,
craziness.
Not going up anymore and not crazy. That's one thing. The second thing is the inventory are adding up slowly but surely because the people, they want to sell because now they can buy another house at a very affordable rate.
Correct.
Not 3%,
right.
Not 2%, but 5%.
Remember we used to talk about, like, why would I trade a 3%, right, for a 7% or 6%, right? That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Right? So it's becoming normal, right? But again, everyone hears on the street, oh my God, the price is going up, going up. It's not true. You got to look for the right deals. You know, there's sellers who are just unwilling and
don't want to budge.
They don't want to budge. They're in a, fairy tale land.
Right.
You know, it always takes like 6-7 months for when inventory increases and for sellers' expectations to change.
Okay, so your advice to the home buyers, first-time home buyers or the second buyer for the properties or maybe investment properties, what would be your advice to the people who are looking for a real estate house right now, especially in New York metro areas?
So look, you guys can definitely find what you're looking for, okay? And now you guys can actually afford more because interest rates are down, right?
Right.
So it's a great, for a buyer, it's great, right? And it's only going to get better. Why? Because the Fed's going to cut the rates, but right now, based on the interest rates we have, they're already factoring in a quarter-point cut.
The market.
Right. So what I'm going to tell you now is really what it is if they cut it for a quarter a point. If they do half a point, it's going to drop even further.
All right. So let's go on to interest rate. I said something, you corrected me right away. So you're going to correct me again because people have to know the facts. What is the interest rate right now for a first-time home buyer or if somebody who wants to refinance?
Okay, so right now it's about 5.75.
5.75. It's not
correct.
Crazy 6. Even last week I was looking at it 6.5.
It was never that. I've never done a loan at that much.
I want you to explain this to me because
just this week I locked 5 loans in the 5s.
5 loans.
And guess what? Everybody is an Uber driver.
Yeah. So
it's not about W-2s or any of this nonsense.
So it is basically comes down to an honest broker, reliable one, giving you the right paperwork and fighting for you at the right
it's about being strategic, basically. Right? A lot of my clients, right? We planned this out from January. What we're going to do, how we're going to do it. Okay,
right.
It's all it takes. It's not, I just wake up and I want to buy a house. It's not going to happen.
No. It's not buying a shoe.
Exactly.
It's something you'd have to be well thought out.
Correct.
Quite a few things are involved in this when you buy a house. What neighborhood is it? If you have kids, how good are those schools in that area? How safe do you feel in that place or in that neighborhood? Is the crime rate is very high there? Or how many police stations you have or precincts you have around there? How many hospitals you have? Do you have any college or universities? All these things, and how far are those shopping places if your wife is not driving?
But I will point out, right? A good school districts, the prices are not going to change.
Yeah.
Because it's desirable, right? The ones that are changing are the ones that don't have, as you pointed out, like maybe that's not the greatest school district, or the taxes are too high there.
Right. So that brings me to the point, and I always wondered that what is going to actually happen after a while. Upstate New York, lots of Bangladeshi community people move to
quite a bit of business in Buffalo, so yes.
Buffalo's, and where there's one other city.
Albany.
No, Albany, Buffalo. There's one other. I always forget that one.
It's in Buffalo. It's right next to Buffalo.
Yeah. It's not right next to.
I know. It starts with a C.
Yeah. I keep forgetting that. So that.
Yes.
And there's one more. It will come to me. They are moving there. One of the major reasons they moved there is because the houses are cheap. You can buy a house for $100,000 and be happy with it because
you can.
So what happens now that the home prices are coming down? Especially those prices will come down even faster.
Very fast.
Yeah, and the interest rate cuts is looming. So we know it's going to happen.
Correct.
So what happens to those places?
So as this place gets somewhat more affordable, right? That's going to be different because look, yes, the house is $150,000. But do you think your pay that you have here is going to be identical? It's not.
Okay. So
you think someone who can afford a $150,000 house is going to pay the same price for, say, a taxi ride or an Uber ride? Of course not.
Of course not.
So that's also what I saw was a real eye-opener for everybody.
Okay. So did you see a lot of people went there and came back down?
Yes, I did.
You did?
I did.
And their reasons were?
Because of that, exactly what I said. They thought the pay would be identical.
Right.
But it's not.
Right. So people who are still...
People didn't do their research and they just jumped.
Yeah. Blindly follow it.
Correct.
Right. So people who are still thinking of that, what would be your suggestion?
My suggestion is if you're kind of on the fence, why don't you go there, buy, say, a 2-family house there, rent it out, or live in it, but at least you have that option.
Right. Okay.
Think of it as an investment property.
That's about it. Because I found
the market is about 30% overbought over there
right now. So you
it used
basically
to be like 36.
You paid about 30-40% more than what you should have compared to 5 years ago.
Correct.
Yeah. So
those houses used to be $40,000.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
I mean, I had offer. It's like take this house, $45,000, and this is in Buffalo, and then I went back a few years ago, and a guy bought it for $175,000.
It's insane. Even in Albany, I saw a house many years ago for $90,000. It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I mean, that's what made sense back then.
I did not buy a property in Kingston, upstate, 217, and this is, I'm talking about 2004, 2005, around that time.
That was not a good area back then.
Now I regret. So things change.
Why? Because of what happened with COVID. Everything changed.
Yeah, everything. That property right now is close to $1 million. I would not, even if you paid me, I would not be in Kingston.
It was right on the water.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I would not live there. But now...
Look, nobody could predict this, okay?
But so, housing, you really can't tell. But if you're patient, and if you're jumping the bandwagon, then you should be okay.
But you guys have to also realize one thing. As the economy weakens, right, interest rates are going to go down even further. But also your pay will suffer also.
Decrease.
So you guys got to be a little bit on the fence. Now, people who have a very stable job or for City of New York or some state, you're fine.
You're fine because it's a city or state job.
Exactly.
There's nothing to worry about.
Exactly.
But overall, the wage growth will stop.
Oh yeah.
In regular regular jobs and stuff. And even though the feds tell you the GDP is growing, the economy is booming, go out on the street. That's not what you're going to see.
No, you're not.
That's very stark difference between them, the reports and the reality.
Correct. And look, anybody who's trying to get a mortgage now, so you go to some loan officer says, hey, it's 6%, 6.5%, just walk away.
Yeah.
Walk away, come see me.
Please, Michael Motazedi এখন যেটা বললেন যে আপনাকে কেউ যদি বলে যে আপনার লোন আমি অ্যাপ্রুভ করে দিব 6%, 6.5%, don't do it.
No.
It's not worth it. কারণ 5.70 এখন পাওয়া সম্ভব আপনার পক্ষে 5টি লোন উনি রিসেন্টলি ক্লোজ করেছেন
Correct.
Okay.
Even no doc loans are at 7.
No doc.
Yes.
Meaning if you put down 20% and no documentation required, it's 7%.
Exactly.
Okay. That brings me to a next point, which is what should the people who bought 6 months ago at a very high rate, like 8%, 7%, their broker were bad, their loan officers were bad, they're all crooked, bad guys. And I'm really talking to most of you people who are in real estate, did this to your client, I am talking to you, okay? Now, those people...
You're going to ask me, hey, should I refinance or wait?
Yes.
That's what you're going to ask me. Look, most of those people had like 9, 11% interest rate.
Right.
Now I would refinance because guess what? At least it'll alleviate some burden, right? And you can guess what? Even if it's 7 months later and it goes down even further, you can do it again.
Okay, so you're telling the people who are waiting for refinancing, they should refinance now, and they could refinance again after 6 months.
They could,
and if they're at 9%, 11%, they can bring it down to 6%.
Yeah,
It's possible.
It's definitely possible.
Definitely possible.
Definitely possible. It all depends on what they do, right? And it all depends on, look, if you're self-employed, it's going to matter taxes, right? If you got home care, W-2, city job, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. That brings us to our last topic today. Remember, next week we're covering more on 2 topics that we talked about, and I think we need to do it because this is
Yes, exactly. Let me get full clarity.
Yeah,
Let me get
of course,
the
of course.
success, and then
the SBA loan and how to get rid of it. Basically, that's what it's not forgiveness, how to get rid of it. I would just
same
word
thing
it
with
that
the
way.
interest. It's not
how
refund.
to not
Okay.
get the how to lower it, playing by the rules.
Correct.
Basically, that's what it is. You said something that caught my attention in the beginning of the show. SBA and mortgage, they are now will be impacted on the mortgage bearer.
Correct.
What does that mean?
So it doesn't go in your credit report, but if they see the payments in your bank statement that you're showing the 2 months, they will add it back on, and that may disqualify you for the loan. So there's 2 ways.
Which loan? The mortgage loan.
The mortgage loan.
Okay, so people who have SBA loans,
Correct.
and they're going to buy a house,
right?
They're about to submit the application. Start there.
Okay, so there's 2 ways to get around this, right? So let's start with what happens, right? Suddenly they see a $66 payment, right? Just say easy payment.
Yeah.
They say, wait, it's not on the credit report. What is this? Then you have to provide the documents. And now they realize it's $1,000 a month. You're not getting that house. That loan's dead.
Okay, so it all comes down to liability versus
preparation.
Well, preparation is the road that
so
you're going to take.
There's 2 options to get around this situation. And look, I saw it all last month, and we were able to do it, which was great. Okay, so let me give you the easy option. Before you guys go look for houses or buy houses, make sure the SBA loan payment comes from some other bank account that you're not going to show them, okay? Then they won't see it, there'll be no questions. Number 2, other way is...
sorry. Keep going.
The other way to do it is if you can show 12 payments from a business checking account, not personal, just because it has a business checking account for 12 payments, they won't count it.
নিউ ইয়র্ক থেকে সম্প্রচারিত TVN 24 টেলিভিশন বিশ্বজুড়ে বাঙালির কণ্ঠস্বর।